What is up, everyone? Welcome to It's Been a Week. I'm your host, Ben McDonald, and this is your weekly dose of whatever the hell just happened. Welcome back, everyone, and we have a lot to discuss this week. A lot. For anyone that is invested in the story last week from my friend, the Australian who disappeared, who didn't really disappear, all the things, I posted the clip of me talking about her on Instagram, and I'm a petty bitch, so I tagged her in it, and she blocked me, which is not that shocking, actually, but she blocked me, she blocked AJ, she blocked the podcast, she blocked me on Facebook. So I think that is done. But it's still so crazy to me. I still have yet to have any clue as to what could have happened in those 3 hours between us being like, we love each other, confirming as guests, to 3 hours later when we were supposed to have the episode, and I don't know. So the mystery goes unsolved. If anything ever comes of it, if I ever hear from her, maybe she'll want to come on here someday and explain her story. I don't know. But until then, we are moving on. So this week was insane for me. It was completely... I don't even know where to start. I'm going to try to do this in chronological order so that the story fucking makes sense, but there's a lot to this. So here we go. As you guys know, I'm an actor, right? I do auditions all the time. And for me, I do auditions and then I forget about them. I never, because if you sit and think about them, you will start to drive yourself crazy. You'll start to be like, why didn't I get this? So I do my auditions, I let it go into the universe, and I move on. So last week I did an audition. It was a huge national commercial for a very, very well-known brand that all of you guys know. And I do the audition and they needed a horse rider. And usually with horse riding stuff, I kind of have a little bit of a leg up. Like I usually have a foot in the door with the horse riding experience. So I do the audition last week, and then callbacks were supposed to be the following Monday, Tuesday. And so this last week, it was like Monday, Tuesday, and I looked at AJ and I go, God, it's so weird that I didn't even get a call back. I was like, because I really fit that one like perfectly. And I know I nailed the audition, but I was like, whatever. We were planning last week. We needed to go to LA for our friend's funeral who passed away. That was going to be on Friday. And then we were going to fly Saturday morning to Houston for the Beyoncé concert because I had Club Hoedown tickets. I've had these tickets for a long time. I mean, this is like, the concert I've been looking forward to all year. So Wednesday, the day before we're supposed to leave for LA, I get a text message from my agent that morning. And she says, hey, call me when you're up and have your coffee. You booked the job. And I was like, what? Because normally the way auditions work is like you'll do your audition, and then when you get a callback, usually the callback is like on Zoom or something like that, where you do your audition again, but this time you're live in front of like producers and the casting director and all that kind of stuff. So I did not get a callback. I just got booked straight off my first audition. So this is on Wednesday, and she's like, you'll be flying to the Dominican Republic tomorrow morning. Like, this is literally, I'm getting this phone call Wednesday morning, and I'm leaving. There's a car coming to pick me up now at my house at 3 a.m. to go to the Dominican Republic. So unfortunately, I was like, it was a tough decision actually, because I was really stressed at the moment, because I was feeling a lot of guilt that I was going to be missing this funeral. So I had to just kind of like take a beat, breathe for a minute, and then like think this through. But unfortunately, I had to miss the funeral. I had to miss the Beyoncé concert. I did not go to Beyoncé. And if you guys saw on the news, she was flying around in the car and it like tilted and she almost fell out. So I would have been there, but I did not get to see Beyonce. I spent a fortune, like thousands of dollars on these tickets, and I did not get to go. And Ticketmaster, if anyone knows them, fuck them. So these tickets were so expensive. They were non-refundable, which I was like, fine, I get it. Like, you buy your purchase, but then they also were non-transferable and sellable. So I wasn't allowed to put them on StubHub. I wasn't allowed to relist them on Ticketmaster, nothing. So I was stuck with these tickets. The only thing they would let me do is change the name of the tickets. Like, I could say they're for someone else, but no one in their right mind is going to like pay me money And then what am I going to do? Be like, oh, don't worry, I'm going to call Ticketmaster and I'm going to put these in your name. Like, it's going to be all good. Like, no one's going to do that. So my only option was to sell them to someone I know and someone that trusts me, that I can be like, hey, Venmo me the money. I'm going to switch them into your name, whatever. So very difficult thing to do. But at the very last minute, I had a friend that was going and he's like, hey, we'll buy him from you. So I was like, okay, great. So he Venmos me. We call Ticketmaster to switch him into his name, and they go, oh, you guys have to have the same last name. Are you what? We have been going back and forth. We have reached out to Ticketmaster 12 times. We have emails from them. We have all these things. They never once mentioned, oh, you have to have the same last name. Excuse me? So now I'm like, what the fuck? So luckily, I don't know how this all worked out. I texted my friend a picture of my ID and I said, just here's a photo of my ID. Try to get the tickets. If they don't work, obviously I'm going to give you your money back. Luckily, he showed him a picture of my ID. They gave him the tickets. He went. Happy for him. I'm so annoyed I didn't get to go. But the good news is the tour is not over. So I am going to head over to Vegas. I'm going to catch her at the tail end. I'm going to see her in Vegas. So that was the crazy whirlwind. I get the phone call from my agent and she's like, you've booked the job. And I'm like, wow, okay. So now my whole schedule has changed, right? In LA, I was getting Botox in LA. I had a photo shoot in LA with Stephanie Gerard, who was on last week. I was supposed to go to the funeral and we were supposed to fly to Beyoncé. So I had to cancel all of this stuff, rearrange everything. And the good thing I will say about being a union actor, so for anyone who doesn't know, a union actor, you're in SAG, it's the Screen Actors Guild, and being in a union, it does protect you from a lot of things. Not all things, but a lot of things. So like, for instance, the production company, like they have to fly me first class. They have to send a driver to my house to pick me up. They have to have transportation to bring me home. They have to put me in like a good hotel. They can't put me in the Super 8. They had to put me in a nice resort. So I do get benefits from that, right? Like that was amazing. So pack my suitcase, and the next morning I get picked up at 3 a.m. I'm headed to the airport, and I don't want to get into too much about airports because I know I've already talked about that, but there is a few things that really, really, I was like, what the fuck? So have you guys noticed when you go to get on a plane, right? And when boarding is getting close and it's like everyone swarms to the gate and everyone's in different zones. Your zone. Your zone's on your thing. You're going to board and zone like 1, 2, 3 in that order. But for some reason, as soon as they see that gate agent opening the door and getting on their little intercom, like everyone just scrambles to this, like makes this like crowd, it makes no sense. But that's beyond the point. The issue that I'm having, they allow people to board who need extra time down the jetway, right? So in my opinion, that's for people who are like, have a broken leg. They're on crutches. They maybe have a baby with a stroller. They have some kind of disability. There's a reason why they need to get on the plane first. It's going to take them a little longer. It's going to take them extra time, right? Lately, it's become a complete shit show. They're letting anyone can say they need extra time to get down the jet bridge. Anyone. There was a family, they're a totally normal family, and they had a kid. I don't know, the kid was like 6. You don't need extra fucking time. You what? There's no need for you to need extra time. And also, if someone needs extra time, the whole family gets to go. Okay? So there were these people, multiple, and I'm like, you don't need extra time. You're just fucking fat. Like, I'm sorry, I know that sounds harsh. You're just a big person and you're lazy. Like you had to get escorted here on a golf cart from security, then you get put into a wheelchair to get get your ass up and walk. That will help. This is the issue at hand. This is why you're in a wheelchair and why you're getting strolled around in a golf cart, is because you can't get your ass up and walk. Like, these people were not disabled. These people did not have an injury. They're just fucking lazy. And I think it's crazy. Like, get your ass up and walk. And then they're traveling with a party of like 15. So I'm like, this whole group of people is getting on the plane because they need extra time. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I think it is like, what? Come on. So, and everyone knows, everyone is aware of what is happening, right? Like, everyone, if you've traveled recently, if you do this, you know what you're doing. You're just trying to get on so you can have extra space and you can get all your luggage up above the seats. Like let's just call this for what it is. Okay. Also, the other weird thing is, does anyone find it odd when like dads kiss like their grown sons on the lips? Is that weird? Am I the only one that finds that a little weird? Like there was this dad, and it was like his son was clearly like, I don't know, 19, 20, and he's like kissing him on the lips. And I'm like, that's just, is that weird? I think that's weird. Anyways, so I get on the plane, everything's good. And, you know, when the production company booked my seats, they had asked me, like, do you want window or aisle? And I was like, I'm a window person. And on the one flight, they didn't have windows left, which is fine. But then early in the morning, I looked at the Delta app and there was a window seat. So I was like, I switched my seat last minute, like at the very last second. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to move this one to there. So I get on the second leg of my flight and I go and I sit down, and you look, I never speak to the person who sits next to me. I am not a plane talker. Like Delta gives you a nice entertainment center. Like I'm like, you need to use it. I go full, like I'm deaf. I don't speak. I mute. Like, no, don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Mind your own business. Right. I'm not here to be like, where are you going? We're all going to the same fucking place. I'm not here to be your new best friend. We're not going to know each other after this flight. Like, let's just enjoy our flight and mind our own business, right? But for some reason on this flight, I looked at the guy next to me and I was like, oh, God, what did I say to him? I was like, oh, what are you headed here for? Which is also a dumb question. I mean, we're going to the Dominican Republic. And he goes, I'm going here for work. And I said, oh, what are you doing? He goes, I'm filming a commercial. And I was like, named the commercial, and I was like, yeah. And I was like, holy shit. So I found the other actor that was in the commercial, which was kind of crazy. I mean, of all the flights, he was coming in from New York, I was coming in from Texas. Like the fact that we ended up on the same flight sitting next to each other after I moved my seat, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. So then I met a friend. We landed, we got to Punta Cana, where the fuck was I? Punta Cana, right? I think Dominican Republic. So when I Googled Dominican Republic, I was like, wow, this place looks gorgeous. There's like beautiful beaches. Like this is like a tropical island. Like this is going to be great. We're going to talk about the Dominican Republic, everyone. It is so fucking hot there. It is so hot. It is like Satan has sat his asshole on that island. Like that, you feel like you're in an oven. Like I woke up in the middle of the night having dreams of being on fire. Like it was, whatever you think is hot, times that by 10. Like it was, all I did was sweat. You just sweat. There is a certain demographic of people who choose to go to the Dominican. Okay. Going here felt like a giant cruise ship. I have never seen like more unfortunate looking, giant, just gross people in my life. I was like, where the fuck am I? When I landed there, I was like, wow, this place is gorgeous. Look at the beach. Look at this. The airport was super nice. I was like, wow, it's like modern and there's art. I'm like, this place is great. My driver picks me up at the airport, and as we're driving, I'm like, okay, this is giving kind of like, it feels kind of like Mexico. Like, there's nicer spots, not nicer spots, all good. So we get to the resort, and this place is huge. It's called Casa de Campo. And I think that means camp. I don't know, but it was huge. You go into this place, there's a hotel, there's like multi-million-dollar homes. There was each room, we each got our own golf cart. So when I get to my room, I'm like, okay, where's the beach? I mean, I was like in the fucking jungle, everyone. Like, I don't even know. I was like, where am I? So then when I finally asked him, when I go, where's the beach? He's like, oh, it's a 15-minute golf cart ride that way. And I was like, a 15-minute golf cart ride? Like, this place is huge. So my new buddy that I met on the plane next to me, I messaged him and I said, hey, let's go get some drinks. Cause like the next day we didn't really have to work. We were just doing fittings and that kind of thing. So I was like, let's go get some drinks. We drive down to the marina, and he's having a beer. I'm having a martini. And I'm like, well, we got to spice this up. You can't just be having a beer. And I look at the bar and I see Fireball, and I go, hey, you ever done Fireball? And he's like, no, never. And I'm like, well, buckle up, buddy, because here we go. So I ordered shots of Fireball, and the night begun. We continued to have a few cocktails. We're drinking. Then it was like, he's like, okay, we should go back and go to bed. And I was like, okay, fine. And as we're driving back, I was like, whoa, what was that? I hear music coming from the lobby of the main hotel. And I'm like, let's just stop in there. So we pull over, we go in there, there's music and there's a hotel bar. And I'm like, okay, now this is like, here we go. Here we found a party. So we're sitting there and we're drinking. And there's these two women sitting next to us and they're kind of like looking at us. We start talking to them. And here I'm like, oh, these people are going to be great. And the one girl, I talked to her and I don't know how it got brought up, but she has pigs. She had the same pigs we have as Phil. So we had 3 pigs. So I thought, oh, we're going to be great. These girls ended up being the biggest bitches I ever met. They were so, I was like, okay, girl, please. And get a new conditioner. But they had mentioned when we were talking to them, they go, oh, there's all these people over here at the table. They're here working on some big commercial. And I was like, huh? I go, well, that might be my boss. So I'm going to go over there and talk to them. So before we get into the filming of this commercial, I just want to say, like, shout out to this production company. The team on this, like, everyone was so amazing. The director, the DP, the producer, the creative team, like my assistants, the PAs, everyone, like, everyone was so amazing. I really, it was great. My wardrobe person, I mean, it was insane. And the producer, I'm not going to say her name, but she and we're going to be friends forever. I can feel it. So her and I would go out like after every night we'd go out afterwards and like decompress and we'd just go sit and have like a martini. And it was like became our little ritual. It was great. So that night I went to the table and I said, you guys working on this commercial? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, I'm Ben and I'm your horse rider and I'm your talent. And they were like, oh my God. And then we ended up laughing and then we all became best friends. All was good, right? So the next day is the fitting day. And in my head, I'm like, okay, there's not that many outfits. This fitting is going to be 30 minutes in and out. Not a big deal. So we get to the fitting. It ended up being, I had like 75 outfits. We ended up being there for like 9 hours. And it was fun. Like the fitting parts are fun. You're getting to know everyone. You're meeting people. You're, trying on your outfits. So how it works with the commercial is, you have the production team who's making the commercial. You have the creative ad agency there, and then they're communicating back to the client, who is the brand that I know I'm going to sound like whatever. I can't say their name, but you are going to see this commercial very soon. So I think around maybe August, September-ish. It will be on all your TVs. It's going to be on your social media. You'll see the commercial and you'll know the brand. But they're having to communicate with the brand, with the client to make sure like, okay, yes, this outfit's approved, this outfit's not, whatever. And during our lunch break, they were like, we're at a different resort from where we're staying because this is where we were going to be shooting. And so we went to get lunch and you walk in and this thing was like it literally was like a cruise ship buffet. I walk over, everyone's just fighting for this food. And I'm not joking you. Thank God I was on Ozempic because I didn't eat for 3 days. I did not have one meal. And I'm not being dramatic. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being over the top to try to, like, I did not eat for 3 days. The food in the Dominican Republic was not edible. There was dishes with like, it looked like maybe it was chopped up hot dogs. I'm not sure. I didn't trust the meat there. I didn't really trust the lettuce there. I basically lived off a few French fries and a couple Lay's chips. The food, I can't even describe it to you guys. It was so bad. It was not. And I went to the dessert table. How do you fuck up a dessert? The desserts were terrible. I took like a tiny little bite. I'm like, I can't eat this. So it was, I think I lost weight. I think this is the first trip I ever went on where you come home and I'm like, wow, I've lost a bunch of weight. So that was great. And the day was great. Did all our things. Went home that night. We went to bed early because it was an early call time. The next morning, I go and I get picked up and we're headed to set. And here's the thing about the Dominican, which is so weird. Normally, when you go on vacation, you get to your hotel, you put your passport in your safe, and then you don't think about your passport because you always just leave that in your room and you're safe. Well, in the Dominican, you have to have your passport on you at all times. To leave your hotel, you have to show them your passport. To come back into the hotel, you have to show them your passport. Like, it's all about showing your passport. So we get to where we're going to be shooting this day. And it's like another resort. And there's this big entrance and there's cars lined up. So the guy comes, he grabs our passports. And then, we're sitting in the car waiting. And he comes back in front of us. There's like this piece of shit Honda Civic, windows busted out, dented to shit, whatever. The guy comes back and he goes, oh, I gave your passports to that guy. the car in front of us, the Honda Civic, which now has just taken off. So I'm sitting in the back of this car and here's the other thing. And, like when I go to Mexico, a lot of people, they might not be perfect with their English, but you can communicate. You can get your point across. You can figure each other out. In the Dominican Republic, these people don't speak a lick of English, like nothing. And I don't speak a lick of Spanish. So this isn't going great. So as I'm sitting in this vehicle, there goes my passport in another car. This guy's gone, flies away. When I tell you my head almost rotated off my body, I was about to lose it. My assistant that was with me, she spoke English, and I'm looking at her, and she could speak English and Spanish, and I go, what the fuck just happened? Like what is happening? And she's like, I know, we're working on it. And she's outside making phone calls, freaking out, and all of a sudden you see this whole security team of people like on motorcycles go flying trying to find this guy to track him down so they can get our passports back. Mind you, this man, he was in the car by himself in the Honda Civic. So when the security guard handed him like 3 passports, what was he thinking? Oh yeah, those are mine. I'm gonna grab, like, what? And that man, what if he could have thrown him off into the bushes and been like, I didn't get those. He could have, I don't know. I was losing my mind. The fear of being in another country and watching your passport get sailed away, and I have never in my life, I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna have to go to the fucking embassy. I'm gonna have to try to get back into the country. Trump's already not letting people into this country now. I mean, this is crazy. So after 25 minutes of sitting here and freaking out and literally being like, what the fuck are we gonna do, here comes the security guy back with our passports. But whoa, let me tell you, that was quite the experience. So we get to set, we get in hair and makeup, and then they're like, we're gonna have breakfast, which again was unedible. I didn't eat. I was like, I can't do it. So this commercial, it's really funny. It's a funny commercial, and I have to ride horses, and I ride horses a lot, so I know how to ride horse. This is not the issue. These horses that they brought, oh my gosh, I mean, the one I had to ride was very short, that was not trained very well, and this thing would just like take off. Like it would take off down the beach, and I literally was like, you guys, if you had anyone else riding this thing, they would have ended up at the beach 3 miles down, because this thing was not going to stop. I mean, this thing was wild. It had no control, and so I had to like be running it down the beach, and I had to be running it through the water, and I had to be doing all these things. And by the end of the day, we were going and we were doing one of our like last takes, and the horse is going down the beach, and it trips and it flips over. I do a complete somersault. The horse falls on top of me, and I'm underneath the horse. And luckily I know how to ride. And I know that when you fall, like, get your feet out, So I knew to get my feet out, because if your foot gets stuck, which mind you, I'm not riding in proper cowboy boots. I'm riding in like flip flops. And this was not, like I wasn't supposed to be a cowboy. I'm like a tourist riding a horse. And so then the horse gets up, and if your foot is stuck in that stirrup and the horse spooks and takes off, you're getting drugged. So I knew to get my feet out. The horse got up. Luckily, the horse was totally fine. I was pretty sore, and they wanted to send me to the hospital, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to a Dominican Republic hospital. That is not going to happen. I am not. They were like, had an ambulance there waiting for me, and I was like, look, it's not happening. I'm not doing this. Like, after the passport situation, and after the Dominican Republic is not safe. Like, it is, like, it's not a safe place to be. I'm just going to throw that out there. So I was like, I'm not going in there, and I will get seen by a doctor when I get home. And all in all, it was an amazing shoot. Like, the production team, everyone was amazing. It was so fun. I got treated like a total celebrity. It was, everything I wanted. Like, it was literally minus the food. But the Dominican Republic is such an interesting place. I can't imagine someone would choose to go there and would enjoy going there. It is there, like I said, there is a certain demographic that goes to the Dominican Republic, and that demographic is not Ben. That is not me. I would never go back there unless I was being paid for another job. But yeah, it was a fun shoot. We had some crazy weather. I mean, we had to stop shooting like 2 times, because, like, when you're in the Caribbean, like, it's sunny and bright out, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's like severe lightning and thundering and like dark clouds. But then it just like goes away, and then it's light and sunny again. So it was kind of crazy. But great time. excited for everyone to see the commercial. I am so tired. I literally got home last night. The driver dropped me off at 2:30 in the morning. I'm exhausted, and the commercial was really good. The commercial was really fun. I'm excited for everyone to see it. It was, commercials are a crazy process because like they happen very fast, right? You audition, and normally it's callback, but then it's just like literally I got the phone call and they're like, boom, you're going to the Dominican tomorrow. Get ready. Obviously I get annoyed at certain things and I'm like, well, and I haven't eaten, but I was like, I'm very lucky. I'm very, very fortunate and lucky that I get to do this career. I'm very lucky that that I've worked so hard to get here and that things happen, like I look back at how much I've wanted to do this and for how long and for the hours I've put in and for a lot of the work that no one sees that I do, but that, this was a nationwide search. Like, actually, I think it might have been more than that. It was like a worldwide search because the other person was from like Argentina. So they saw thousands of people and they see they see all these people from all over, and I got picked. So like I know how lucky I am. I know how fortunate I am. And I know that, I'm going to make a ton of money off doing this, that it's like, people are like, yeah, that's easy to do. And it's like, it's weird because there's so much work that goes into it and there's so much work it took to get to this point. So I don't take that for granted. I know that I was very lucky. I know that I did have a whole moment of gratitude, just being like, wow, I'm really doing this. And it felt really good. And it felt really, exciting. So you guys, that's all I got for you. And, my takeaways are, I know I'm very lucky that I get to do what I love. I would not advise anyone to go to the Dominican Republic. The food is awful. It is so hot. It's not that safe. The beaches are amazing. There's my positive. The beaches are amazing. I did not get to go to the Beyoncé concert. I didn't get to go to my friend's funeral. Luckily, AJ was present for the funeral for both of us. And we are going to see Beyoncé in the end of the month. That's the life of being an actor, I guess. Like, you roll with the punches. You got to just do it. You got to do it as they come. Again, I'm very thankful for it. And yeah, we'll be back next week with some interesting guests. And I hope you guys had a great week. And until next time, I will see you next Tuesday. Thank you for listening to that episode of It's Been a Week, but don't touch that dial because it's not over yet. Get ready for the after show. Been there, done that with AJ. Well, we're going to get AJ's take on whatever the fuck I just said. And here we are. Been there, done that with AJ.
Been there, done that. We've been all over in the last few days.
Exhausted.
It's pretty wild.
We were on like opposite ends of the country.
I know. Not meant to be. I mean, but yeah, I guess in the end it was because you had a pretty good shoot.
I did. I mean, it was wild. It was crazy, but it happened so fast.
Yeah, everything was happening fast. I mean, it was a week.
It's been a week.
I literally got home Sunday morning at 6:30 a.m. I landed in Dallas and I was texting with someone that morning and they're like, you're back. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, it's been like 2 weeks. It felt like it's been like 2 weeks. It didn't feel like it's been a week. It feels like it's been 2 weeks.
I know.
Just even since Wednesday, it wasn't even the whole week. Just so much happened. But I was so thankful that one, you got booked on something amazing. That's great. Like, I know you were feeling guilty about going, but it's combining two of the things that you love the most in life, acting and horses. And so like, how amazing to go to that. But yeah, I was really grateful that I was able to go to our friend's funeral. It was obviously we, had that other moment a couple weeks ago with our friends to do a little celebration of life, but it's very different when you're with family and you're at a grave site. And it was so, wow, our friend's partner, Blaine, did such an amazing eulogy. Like, his words were epic. They just, they embodied the spirit of Danny, even to the very end where he said that he wasn't going to finish the eulogy because he wanted it to be open-ended for people to add their own parts to it. It was perfect. He did such an amazing job, and it was just a beautiful service. A few things. Another thing, like our friend Kelly and Marissa brought these butterflies, and then everyone released these butterflies. And I'm not gonna lie, like they came in little paper packets, and I'm pretty sure everyone was like, "Are these alive? Like, is this gonna work?" Because it's a living animal inside
Yeah.
this little piece of paper, and they're sleeping or hibernating. So it takes them a minute to wake up, but there were all these monarch butterflies, and it was so beautiful, like to let it release and watch them fly off, and just like have that spirit of life in spirit, really, like of this beautiful thing. During the service, a deer came and walked like behind where we were.
Oh,
Like
wow.
we saw it. Yeah, it was very
In
spiritual.
LA too.
I know, in LA.
Wow.
It was beautiful, and he's laid to rest up on this hill overlooking the city, and it's just awesome. Like,
And isn't he looking over Disney Studios where he
yep,
started his career and everything?
yep.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times people who are spiritual, like Danny and his family are Catholic, which I was raised Catholic, so I understood a lot of what was going on from that perspective. But the priest was amazing. He was like, no matter what denomination you are or what your belief is, like today's a day for us to just come together. It was really incredible. But he said, you know, we're these human beings living this spiritual experience. Like a lot of us think we come to this earth, we're a human being, and then we're here to like discover the spiritual side of things. Like people go to church or people join religion or people, for whatever it is, they figure out their spiritual side. But what the truth is that we're spiritual beings living a human experience.
Mm.
And that it was beautiful because it's like when our body dies, like our spirit still lives is the essence of it all, and it just was great. It was poignant. I loved it. I think it resonated with everyone. I shared it on Instagram today, actually. And the amount of people that were like, that's the moment. That's the moment that I remember too. It was really, really special. So then we went and we had this celebration of life at Harriet's, and it was perfect. The space was perfect. Danny would have loved it. The vibe was perfect. The music, DJ Johnny Knight was there, and it was like perfect. Like we walked in, it was these beautiful instrumental versions of a lot of songs that we all share, like from chaos trips and just parties. And then slowly, like throughout the whole party, essentially, it really was. It was a celebration of life. The music got a little bit more towards the end, where it really had the vibe that, Danny loved. And it was wonderful, and his mom and sister and a few other people spoke, and everything everyone shared was so touching. So, but there was other people that I haven't seen in a long time that showed up, and it's always those things. It's weddings and funerals where you get reconnected a lot of times with people, and it's just interesting how these things that happen in our life can bring people back together. And like it was just nice. Everyone that hadn't talked in a long time got a chance to talk, and I think Danny would have wanted that. Danny always would want that, I think. So the day was incredible. I 1:30 in the morning got on a plane
That was like me last night.
and flew home and got home at 6:30. And then you came in at 2:30 in the morning after I'd already been home not even a day. I've never in my life felt the way I felt yesterday where I just had to lay in bed and take a nap. That's usually not how I am,
No,
but
that's me.
I think just throughout everything this week, I was exhausted emotionally and physically, and just the highs and the lows of all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. And then today it's been lovely, like getting a chance to catch up with you and hear about your shoot and hear how great you did, all the money you're going to make.
It was a wild, wild, wild shoot.
Yeah, I know. But it's going to be exciting when it comes out for everyone to see it and see you doing, again, two things that you love all in one.
Hopefully, there's much more to come. I mean, well, I'm still negotiating some stuff with my agent right now, so there's going to be more that comes off of this. But
I love that.
and my new friend, my producer friend, she's working on another movie that's a big rodeo movie,
Cool.
and she has already sent over all my stuff to them, being like, "You need to check this guy out," because they haven't cast everything yet. So hopefully, there's a movie in the future with that.
So exciting. And a lot of these people, I think you said, live in Austin. So maybe we'll get to go down there and see them.
A lot of the creative team was Austin. The director was Atlanta. The DP was New York. Some people were Seattle. People were from all over.
That's so cool.
Some of the talent was from the other guy was from New York. The girl was from Argentina.
Cool.
And then they had sourced also some local people too. So yeah, it was cool. But it was a huge production. I mean, there was probably 60 people on set. Like it was a huge production.
Love that. That's so fun.
Yeah, and it was great.
Um, I had this similar boarding issue that you had, like where they like board half the plane before they even board like first class. And it's just kind of funny. Like maybe there needs to be better names for these classes like, because
Well,
like they're literal like specific types of groups of people like getting on and like lots of people.
Well, here's the deal. The pre-boarding, if you need more time, that's for like old people that like take longer to get down and they need more time. And also it's like you should be able to be like you and maybe a +1,
Yeah.
not a +15. And
I
these people are like I'm sorry, just because you're fat doesn't mean you need extra time.
Right. Well, maybe some people do because maybe they are debilitated by that. But
Of
like, I
course. But
understand what you're
but these
saying.
people
No, these
like
people are coming off of a vacation in Punta Cana. Like they've been having a good old time, hanging out by the pool, grabbing cocktails, and eating lots of food. Like, don't tell me that they're getting pushed around in a wheelchair at the pool.
exactly.
Yeah.
These people, they obviously spent way too much fucking time at the buffet and like cannot run your fork, bitch. So put that down and walk. Like when I got to the Atlanta airport, I landed in the international terminal and I had to go all the way to A, which is the farthest terminal you can get to. I had plenty of time with my layover. I walked the whole way. That probably was like, it took me 35 minutes to walk. That's what you do. Move
Yeah.
around, move your fucking body. And I get it. There's people out there that have issues or there's certain things. But these people, the ones I'm talking about, they've got a party of 15. They've been partying their asses off and they're like, we'll pre board because they want to get all their luggage. Because when you sit in the back of the plane, you start to lose luggage space. And that's why they have
Right.
to check,
Right.
check
Right.
bags and stuff. So I get the
No
game they're
matter where
doing.
you sit, it's like tough with luggage sometimes. But here's the deal: we're not a wellness podcast, so let's not try to give some advice on that. But I will say I do agree with you. Like when they do, I don't even care what the person's reason is. Like I know that they have to work that out with the gate people before they even get to the gate. From my understanding, that's not at the gate; it's with the people at the front when you check in that you do that special pre-board thing. So like those gate people, I'm sure, are also rolling their eyes because they're just like, this is like making it harder for me to do my job.
Right.
But the part that I will agree with, because I can't say like, the who's right, who's wrong about them getting on or not getting on, whatever, is the 15 people going with them.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand. Like you literally booked all these 15 tickets together, and maybe they did. But even if they did, it needs one other person to assist them or something, not the whole party.
Exactly.
It's
It's
kind of
crazy. It's
ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah. So
Well, we're never going to the Dominican Republic.
I know. I was ashamed. I'm like, sucks. I want to go there.
I mean, you can go. I'm not going.
I don't see why I would go without you, but yeah.
It's hot.
I'm sure there's ways to go that would be.
I mean, the resort I was at, they were like, anytime I told people that's where I was going, they were like, "Oh my god, that's where all the celebrities stay. It's so nice. It's so fancy." And I was like, "For who?" It was not nice. Like my
Yeah.
room was not that. I had a very expensive villa that they put me up in. It was not that nice.
Yeah. Well, be thankful
I
because
mean,
you got,
I
yeah,
mean, I was thankful, but I'm saying for what they paid, it
yeah,
wasn't like this was some like
lavish. Yeah.
luxury, like super fancy by any means.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you got to go. I can't wait to see it. I'm glad that you're okay and that the horse didn't like.
I mean, the horse tumbling over me was crazy.
Yeah, that would have been a lot. I mean, when you text me, I was like, and then you're like, I'm okay. And I was like, okay.
I mean, at one point we were like, they had like a truck and I was having to run the horse next to the truck and they'd speed the truck up. So then the horse would like want to race the truck and the horse would take off and we're going down the beach and this horse has no brakes. Like at one point the director was like, "Can we try going?" I go, "Sir, this horse has two speeds, walk and run. Like there is nothing in between that." And so I'm running down the beach and the only way I can stop this horse is by turning it, like taking a hard left and like turning it sharp and trying to pull it to stop. Because I can't turn right or I'm gonna go into the ocean. And when I would turn left, I'm like turning in front of this moving truck. I mean, the whole thing was wild. It was wild.
Well, it sounds like you did a good job and that they love you.
They did love me. I love them. It was great. And also to end on this on a sad note, I lost my Labubu.
No, I can't believe it. And you say that it's because the little clip was broken.
I was walking out of my room, and then when I got from my room to the lobby, it was gone. It fell off.
Well, I can't believe you lost it.
The Labubu is staying in the Dominican, and someone there has a fucking Labubu. So, on that note, everyone, I'll see you next Tuesday.